son.
Mother, I will conclude this now, but and it's hard to say how much love
When I was all of a sudden struck as if by lightning, one day I could walk, I was just fine. The next day I couldn't walk at all. If I had, from then on, for a whole year, Grandma took best possible care of me. I was not able to walk. If I needed something at 3 o'clock in the morning, she was up, she brought it to me, she helped me.
It's like your hands don't curl.
Yeah, my hands had to be soaked in hot water because I wasn't able to open them at all. Because I would say of the continuous, kind, loving, generous care that Mother has given me, I'm able to walk. I am able to function in a fairly normal manner. And this has been the way it has been through my whole entire life. My mother has always given me
through our lives.
And it continues to this day.
And just being around you has always been such a wonderful, happy feeling. And we're lucky to have had.
Hey, Mother, I love you more than I can ever tell you, and happy, happy 90th birthday.
And Mother, I feel the very same way. I love you dearly. And happy, happy 90th birthday.
Broadway. This is great grandma Gustafson's 90th birthday party at the Country Bound Inn. May 1989, May 21st, 1989.
I said to myself, they will be sooner or later they will be here. Oh, I guess better not to go.
Whoops, I'm sorry.
Oh, I think so.
Heidi and Kim.
Oh, let me tell you, when I take my pennies off, that's bad news. I'm so glad you could come, thank you.
Brady.
This is Grandma's cake. This is Grandma in her 90s.
Grandma, look up. Linda wants to take a picture of you. It's not going to work.
Heidi? She's 12. This is Carrie, and she's almost 14 in a couple of days. Mr. Johnson. Filling in for Mr. Johnson and Lori. We're getting everybody at the party.
Yeah, okay. Fold it.
Mike's mother, Lisa. Mike. Hi, Jason. This is Erna and Mike's little boy. Oh, that's a cute smile. This is Paul and Stephen and Lorne. Florence. Patty, Corey, Kelly, Randy. Chris, Ryan, Ben, Joanne, Kim, and hi, Megan. Boyd. Beth. There's Joe, Chris, Ryan.
You got that thing going? Okay.
Don't have to get the whole story, but yeah, well, I just want to see what I look like telling.
Strange character.
You'll hate it. Tim, Tanya, Chanel,
I like your dress. That's fair. I modeled that for a school fashion show in San Diego.
Evelyn, Betty, and Alvin. And Tom is missing today. He's on the train. Pam. This is Pam. Jim's friend. This is Jim. Pam's friend. Grandma's grandson. Go ahead. Chloe, the vase goes down there by her. Ryan, Amy, Brady, Kelly, Chanel, there's Chris, Megan, Pat, Kim, a bouquet of flowers for their great grandmother. Please come give Grammy one more kiss so our okay. There you go.
She said, don't do it. He pinched her. She came over. It's a pain. He embarrassed himself in front of everybody.
Karen.
I agree with that.
Okay. Here's Karen. No, that's the tea box, I think, Karen. This is Cole. He just came in.
Did you tell another one?
I did not.
This is Betty and Adeline and Alvin. They're having the best time of everybody.
Because Sam's telling dirty jokes.
Sam's telling jokes. That's a tea box.
See my dad?
This is Grandma getting her birthday gift. Kelly?
Kelly does not go with his dad. You want me to help you? Okay, is there a clean eye?
I think you guys are.
How neat, sweet, and I'm glad you like it.
This is from Shirley.
Somebody's kicking the other tail. Except there's a tattletale.
Who is it from? Mom. Ben, Daddy, Melon.
Boo! You hurt my eardrum.
This is from Lisa and I and Jason and Mike.
Could revolutionize the world. Yeah. Oh, that's Kurt. Benders. Great. I'd like to have some of those. I don't know.
I've heard they do. Karen said they were great.
Benders for Grandma from Erna and family.
Your mother wanted
Here's Chris and the girls. Chanel. What was that?
God, I don't know. Grandma's getting confused.
I didn't pay attention to this. Who's this gift from?
Who's this gift from?
Kim and Vince.
Oh, from Kim and Vince. Oh, how lovely.
That's beautiful.
Okay, this is a gift from Lloyd and George and their kids.
Yeah, the grandkids.
Tim and
Need to write this way.
it's the clock radio.
Timothy, come here and take this
All
out.
right, so that's 2 Ernest. Let me do, I'll go with family. 2 in Ernest.
Don't worry about it.
1 in my family. 1 in your family. Yours. 1 in Karen's. Megan.
Boy, talk about a sexy thing. Whoa.
Clock radio for Grandma.
Isn't that cute?
Isn't that pretty?
I'll sing happy birthday.
Everyone, could we gather around just for a moment, please? That is so pretty. I'll put the daffodils.
That is really a pretty cake.
Happy 90th birthday from all of us who love you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grandma. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, maybe Ernie
Yeah, we'll
will let
see
her
her, Sam.
cut the cake.
Right here.
I'll turn it around one time.
Okay.
I'm in the patio. Battery's flashing. She said, take your thumb off.
Did you get,
Grandma eating her cake.
Right up there. I'm telling my brother. Jody, you like frozen? And I said, I'd like frozen. I like chicken. Jody, like frozen? And I'd like
Amy had a golf course for the child.
gonna be a covered hopper?
Covered hopper. Well, that's close. He hops around a lot, so.
Oh, okay. Well, anyhow, congratulations, you're a covered hopper. And get a hat. You're welcome.
Well, you're gonna find that
Justin
out.
is going to be our covered hopper. Now, an important thing about covered hoppers is whatever you put in it, it won't blow away or spill. Or the rain won't get on it, or the snow won't get on it. What?
You could spill, couldn't it?
You know,
The
it
train
could-
was going real fast.
Well, no, because these things are locked, and usually it doesn't spill. If there's a leak, something might spill out of it. What would spill out of it? What do we carry in it?
Water.
Andrew, milk? No, covered hopper, not milk.
Why?
No, you guys are thinking the wrong things.
Think dry things.
Dry things.
Oh, I know. Toast. Bread.
Toast.
Do you,
Well, have to
now,
make a lot.
can you imagine someone, think of the size of a train car here, guys. Is somebody gonna stand around toasting that much bread to fill up a train car? Come on.
I know. Like hay.
No, not quite, but you guys are
You're
getting
a
close.
barber.
Sand.
Sand is a good answer. Yes, we haul sand. You forgot.
Dirt.
Okay, sand and dirt.
Like rocks.
Well, no, we're gonna put rocks in the thing like that.
Like the coal car.
Let's see.
Think of food things that might have to be shipped.
No?
Wood dust.
Are you gonna say wheat, corn?
I can't believe it was oats.
Oats. Good.
You told him.
Huh?
What was,
Sure.
what would happen if the engine was in front and there was another car in front of it? Cereal car. Switch lanes.
Well, then we turn the engine around, we go that way.
Switch it around. There's like a turning table.
That's right, there's a turntable that'll turn it around. But we're smart, we're gonna keep our cars to the back of the engine, okay? So anyhow, here's our covered hopper. You are a covered hopper, right? Okay.
When it
Our covered
sticks up,
hopper
it's
is
mine.
sitting down here. Here's our switchman out here ready to pass signals. Now, I'm not gonna help her this time,
Oh,
kids. You guys
Dusty.
watch to make sure she does
You're
it
paying
right.
attention? Call that engineer.
Back up the engineer. That's it.
You remember how to
That's it.
stop him when he gets there?
That's it, stop, okay, send him forward. Send him forward like this.
Remember to stop him before he falls in the sink.
Good, he stopped. Okay, now we've got another card. We have a special.
I know.
Okay.
You need another boy, you have 3 girls, pick
Do I have
another
two
boy.
girls? Okay. Okay, we need a boy.
From the floor. A boy
From the floor. Okay, you can stand up, come on.
Since I just got your caboose, Craig, that works out real well.
Okay, Craig needs a hat.
Excuse me, Gordon.
What is this? Can you guys tell what this is?
I don't know what it is, I could be wrong.
No.
This is red.
Don't be
Now you
mad at me,
guys better
guys.
guess this because I'm the one that drew it.
I know.
This is, okay, what?
Stephanie and other children in her reading group.
Boxcar.
It's a box car, very good. That's what it is, it's a box car. Now we have 2 types of box cars. We have the box car that we call refrigerated and not refrigerated. Okay, now listen. Okay, you sit down and back up just a little bit.
Wanna join me back here? Then behave.
Okay, that box car, we'll say is refrigerated because see the little side right here? That's a little refrigeration system there, and there's the little smokestack where the smoke comes out of for the refrigerator. So if you pass the train and it's got a little smokestack there, it's a refrigerated car. Now what do you think we would have in a refrigerated car?
Oh, I bet I know.
Oranges is a great answer. Oranges come from California, we ship them all over the country. Bananas come from Texas, and we ship them all over the country. Apples,
Ice cream.
ice cream, that's in a freezer car, but sometimes we do ship ice cream. We don't, but others. Popsicles, I don't think so. I think they're truck popsicles. Meat, good answer. Okay, well anyhow, in a refrigerated car, Let me tell you what they do with refrigerated cars. They take them out to California, and they go up to what we call a siding, which is near a farm, and the people cut the lettuce, pick the tomatoes, pull up the carrots, and they put them in these cars, and a train comes and picks them up and rushes them out to New York City, and the people have fresh salad in about 3 days. It takes them 3 days for a train to go from California to New York City. Because the trains will go anywhere from 20 miles an hour, which is real slow, up to 65 or 70 miles an hour.
Why would a train be faster getting to New York City than a truck?
I know.
Philip?
Oh.
Well, see, don't really know till you think about what I'm asking you. David? Say it.
Oh, we have stops.
They have a few, but it's not as many as you would run into on the streets. What other reason?
They use like coals to get it hot. They use
Oh, but they still have to travel
That's
roughly the
safe.
same speed. Some places in the country, cars can go 55, some 65.
I
Oh
know.
yeah, we got trains coming in.
But is it gonna be as much traffic as you would find on the streets?
And traps.
No.
You know what else?
You don't have to.
California, there's a crew on up in California. When they get to Nevada, another crew changes. When it gets out here to Colorado, there's a crew in Salt Lake City that changes crews, and they bring it to Grand Junction where another crew gets on, and I get on the train up by Minturn.
That's
and
near
we bring-
Vail.
Which is near Vail, and we bring it to Pueblo, and then another crew gets on at Pueblo. And so the train really never stops other than to pick up crews or meet another train. Whereas a truck driver, they can only drive a certain number of hours, then they have to stop and rest. When we keep a refrigerated car, what would we have in it? Supplies? How about clothes? We ship a lot of clothes. How about televisions?
What about animals?
Paper?
Possibly.
Refrigerators? Yeah. Okay, back up, get ready, stop. Take them forward. Whole train goes, no, let's see like this, like this. Okay? Now I want to show you guys something. You've seen all of those tracks down in Pueblo.
Yeah.
And all of those tracks have different numbers to them. In the yard that I work in, there's 24 tracks across there. He crashed, didn't you tell him to stop? Well, the hoghead wasn't looking right. Anyways, if I'm the foreman of this job, and here's my switchman down on the ground, and I want to tell him to go to track 6, can't holler at him. We forgot the radio. So I use hand signals there too. What I do is I tell our switchman to go to track 6. I put up my hand like this. So if you want to tell a man to go to the track, go.
But no, think.
Okay, this is 5. Instead of going like this, the guy's wondering how many fingers does he have up. If he sees the whole fist, then he knows that that's 5. Okay, then this is 6. Just flip
What
your
about one?
1 is like this.
What about 2?
2 is like this.
Just the way you
3.
would normally do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, until we get to 3. Then 3 is 1, 2, 3. But it's too long to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, 1 is car is this.
Tank car.
Well, everybody's.
Excuse me, but you have it written.
I know, everybody was raising their hands up.
Yeah, see, because it's backwards.
That's right. Okay, so here it is. Oh, okay. We need a hat. Will you please put a hat on a person for me?
Hold your horses, let's see. Claudia, here you go.
Okay, Claudia, you look like a tank car person. Are you a tank car person? I'll tell you what. What do you think we haul? Here you go. You hold the sign up with the hat on. What do you think we haul?
Now start thinking think of some of your earlier answers.
What do we carry in a tank car? Okay.
Oh,
Your sister did.
She was in second grade too.
Oh, that's right. Ruined my whole day. My show's over. It's time to go home.
because nobody ever guesses ketchup. And see that, Matthew's sister told him the answer.
Wine.
Yes.
Ketchup is one.
Oil.
My whole show's done. My heart is broken. Okay. Anyway.
You'll never get a hat, Matthew. You blew it.
No, we don't for Hunt's ketchup. And then they ship it back to California and sell it.
Holy cow, look at that. From California to Ohio, back to California.
Tomato sauce, that's right. So there's a lot of things. Now I'll tell you one that his sister didn't tell him.
Listen to
Another
this
thing
one.
that we use is what they call corn sweetener. What corn sweetener is a product that is used not only in like cereals and stuff, but a lot of products that if they manufacture, they use it. But anyhow, you eat a lot of corn sweetener even though you don't know it. Yes. Look onto the train, take the train forward,
Oh, shoot.
forward, there we go.
The train broke.
The train broke. That's why we have switchmen.
You're supposed to be watching.
Okay, what I need is, I need for you guys to all move over this way just a little. People, what kind of
do we carry the caboose?
me? Like, go, you're the switchman, you're working on the yard, you don't need to go. I work on the coops. I'm the brakeman, and we have people that we call the conductor. So we need another hat.
We have.
So let's see.
We need another girl.
We need another girl. Here's a girl right here.
That's a girl.
Nobody would have that pretty hair and be a boy. The conductor is one that takes care of the bills. And the bills are the things that tell about what the caboose is not self-powered. It stands over there. No power on the caboose. So what they do is they give us a list of the things that are on the cars. Let me tell you about this. Here's a car that was loaded up in Jackson, Tennessee and Nashville, Tennessee, which is way out east, right? You guys understand that? It's going clear out to Winnemucca, Nevada, which is out in the desert out in Nevada. Now let me show you what a train looks like. Where's our conductor? Put out your hand. Put out your other hand. There you go. Here is the end of this train. Hold it. Now be careful. Watch out, kids.
That's Santa Claus's list. That's what I want for
That's the list. Now don't separate.
Don't
please,
rip it.
'cause it'll weaken it, okay? But that's the information on one train. Not this train, of course, but this is just on one train. So the conductor has he put this under his arm, he carries it like that, and he gets on the caboose.
That's a
Okay?
rough job, Catherine. Think you can handle it?
Now, we've really taken a lot of time to make this train up. This poor switchman's been working out here, and the sun went down. The switchman can't see the engineer anymore because it's dark. So what are we going to do? We turn on our light and we talk to the engineer. How do we talk to him? We say back up, and then we say go forward. The same thing, it's real simple. We tell him to stop, okay? But because the engineer has all these cars and can't see this caboose, we're going to have to give him car length signs. Now the way we do that is you tell him back up, but don't back up yet because I haven't given it back to the switchman. Then when he starts getting close, we say 1, 2, 3 cars back. He's getting a little closer, and cars mean one of these car lengths, which is probably the size of your classroom. And we say 2 cars, 1, 2, back. And we say, when he gets a little closer, we say 1 car, back. And if he's coming a little bit too fast, we tell him easy. This is an easy sign. Then we tell him get ready, stop. Okay,
Phil.
then we'll tell him to go ahead.
Shut up.
See?
Excuse me.
Where's our switchman? You're our
I don't know when
switchman?
you're.
Since
You
we're
get
getting
it?
ready to leave town, we don't need a switchman anymore, we need a brakeman, we need another hat. What we're gonna do is we're going out to California, which is down there by the camera there.
You can go right through the room and around, Matthew.
Okay. The engineer has to decide how to get out to California. So, take the train ahead.
Go choo-choo!
Okay, you get on the caboose. There you go. Goodbye. Tell the train goodbye.
Bye, train! Hi, train!
Not the place to play. Don't, please don't ride your bicycles down a railroad track. If you think you can hear a train coming, if it's going uphill, yes, you can hear the train rumbling. But when they're coming downhill, you can't hear them. It's what all they do is they make a quiet hum until they're right there. If you go out to the reservoir, the railroad track runs by the reservoir. We've had people at what we call Turkey Creek up there fishing off of the bridge. Train comes around the curve and they start running to get off of the bridge. Well, we seen one guy fall down and we just about run over him. Don't cross railroad bridges. We don't have many tunnels here, but don't walk through the tunnel. If you ever get around the tunnel, don't go through the tunnel because you just don't know when the train is going to come.
You see, the train doesn't fit right snug on the track. It hangs over. So you think you have space, but you don't.
Okay?
Yeah, because the wheels are a little
You
underneath.
never get a little hurt playing on the track. You always either get a broken arm, a cut off head, things like this.
And
Now-
that's true. Arms are cut off, legs cut off.
I don't think too many of you kids ride buses to school.
Not
But
too
if
many.
you ever go someplace and your bus driver comes up to a railroad crossing, if you're not quiet then, that's the time you need to be quiet because that's when he has to listen to make sure there's no trains coming. Not only does he look, he has to also listen. And you guys have to help him out there by being quiet. When your parents are driving and you're crossing a railroad track, you look with them because a train can't stop real fast. It takes a train probably from where the top of the circle goes there, maybe clear down to the golf course before it can stop. That's a
Whoa,
long way.
the golf course. He's not just talking, he's saying from the curve of the road here, not just to the other end where the church is, he said all the way to the golf course. We're talking, it takes a long, it's right over here.
Spy Club was
Yeah.
I've seen it.
So you see, it takes a long way to stop the train.
Yeah, 'cause
Now,
the whole
one of
state's
the
going.
important things that we're concerned with that has happened quite often is that people think that they're really good rock throwers and they can throw a rock and hit the side of a train. That's like standing out here and throwing a rock and hitting the side of your school. If you can't hit the side of your school, you're not much of a rock thrower anyhow. If you want to throw rocks, go find a can and try to hit the can. But don't throw rocks at trains, and here's the reason why. One kid threw a rock at a train and it broke the glass in the engine, and glass got in a friend of mine's eyes, which is quite serious. Another friend of mine had his elbow out the window, and a kid threw a rock, and he's about your size, he can't throw a rock that hard, but the train was going 50 miles an hour, so that rock was going 50 miles an hour. It hit his elbow, and he now has a plastic elbow. He was out of work
Oh,
for
so
2
he,
years.
so he threw it like that and the train was coming like that.
Right, and he hit the elbow. So the thing of it is please don't throw rocks at trains. Now, these are what they call fusees. but we call them fusees because they're different than flares. These don't shoot up in the air. If you find something like this on the track, leave it alone. What is in here is what they call phosphorus, and phosphorus doesn't burn out, or it doesn't. It burns all of the fuel in it, and then it quits burning. You can't put it out, you can't pour water on it or anything. In other words, if you light one of these and watch it burn, and some of it drips onto your hand, it'll burn a hole until, all the way down until it burns out. In other words, even the blood won't put it out or anything. It'll burn clear down to the bone, and you'll have a very serious burn. If you find any of these on the tracks, leave them alone. You don't have any business touching them. How do you light them? There's one way to light them, and I'm not going to show you. Okay? Now, there's other ways to light them, but if you do it that way, you're going to really burn yourself.
What if, like, you just drop it on it?
If you just drop what on what?
Like a lighter or something like that. A map?
Yeah. And then what are you going to do with it?
Another way.
Well, then why light it in the first place? What I'm trying to say is, there's no reason you touching it. Okay? Just leave.
What do they
If you
use
find
for?
what they're used for is, if we're on a caboose, a man gets off the caboose to stop a train behind him, he'll light it and let him know that there's a train up ahead of him. Because a red signal means to stop. Green signal means to go. A yellow signal, like you guys have, means to slow down. Okay, do you have a question?
One time I saw a bum riding on a cartoon with, he jumped on the train and his leg almost got caught in the wheel.
That's right. So we need to stay away from the trains. Do you have a question?
Now, a question is not telling a story, it's asking something. That sounds like you're telling.
For me today, and I appreciate the time coming in. And if you'll remember the things I said about not throwing rocks and staying away from the train track, because that's no place to play, I'll appreciate it, okay? Thank you, kids.
Thank you.
stopped. Okay. Come, Heidi and Ryan. Waiting for a chair. And they're in. I think the kids are having a good time. First time skiing, and Heidi's got Ryan up the Continental Divide. Hi! Come Heidi and Ryan down the mountain.
Said just about eyesight.
Oh boy. Oh, look at that.
Dan taught him how to roll over and to jump up and down the stairs, and then he takes the easy way down. He rolls down the stairs.
How old's Tiffany?
13 months.
13 months. And this little puppy's 8 weeks old.
You did a pretty good job of protecting myself.
Yeah, she learned real fast how to put her arm up and block him. No. Go get him.
He's hiding. Take your corners.
Really?
Go faster, go faster. There she is. Pet him, pet him, pet him. Tiffany,
Are you petting Tiffany? Tiffany Musso.
go get him.
With Lori Musso and Amy Nacarado and Linda in the picture.
Go get him, go get him, go get him. Ooh, his heart's beating fast.
I did hers in stupid.
I can't feel hers. I can't feel hers. That's the puppies.
Let's see.
Oh, she wants him to hold her. Tiffany, Tiffany, do you want to hold him? Puppy, puppy, be nice. Tiffany, it's okay. See, puppy, be nice.
Not a chance, Lori.
I jump up and down, up and down, and I'm Tiffany. I jump up and down, and up and down, and I'm Tiffany. Ooh. I jump up.
Wait, smile for the camera.
She likes the camera.
Let's see what she's
Go
gonna
get
do.
her. Go get her. Go get her. I'll take her. I'll take her.
You kids are so silly.
Wait.
You
Hey,
have to
super dog. Ta-da-da-da-da. Watch what?
How about the Nakarada one last summer?
Is she recording, Lori?
Well, everybody pretty much stayed in hotels around Salida,
Yeah.
and they were just
Have Tiffany wait.
another
Hi.
put a big pig in it.
Gotcha. Hey, let's go record him on the swing.
swing.
It's recording. Okay, let's. Tiny. Lori and Tiny.
Well, this is Easter 1989, and we're coloring Easter eggs tonight. How you doing, Joey?
Fine.
Okay.
Rolled up last night.
You threw up last night.
I laid in it.
I remember that. That was it.
Then I couldn't get to sleep. That was really fun. Now I can't walk.
There's Ryan and Kelly. What color are you doing, Ryan? Kelly.
You want to put some glitter on there? It's down the table.
It's all yellow. And it's people.
Okay?
These kids have got some really neat eggs. They're prepared for the half there.
We'll get it. Carrie, can you help me with my hat?
There's Mad Dog.
Let me see. Uh-oh, are they sticking in there, Joe?
I'll say they sticking in.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. I'll say they're sticking.
Jeez.
Hold them out. There you go, take them out.
Here's
Just keep them at your end of the, I think they'll be all right after. They're sticking these things on with long gelatin and glitter.
Well, this year we have Ryan and Randy and Joey staying with us, and Linda and I got up early to see what kind of surprises the Easter Bunny had left. So we'll be waking up here a little bit when the kids get up and go on an Easter egg hunt. Where's Joey?
You're downstairs. Is there hiding?
Okay, here we are on Easter morning, 6:15 a.m. and everybody's shot. Okay, we'll open up your baskets.
Uncle Tom, look what he gave me.
What do you have?
A bird and one. Bird and an Easter egg.
Good.
Yeah.
Heidi has a broken arm. She broke it yesterday. Heidi, show us your broken arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, little bunny.
Me and Heidi have the same one.
Good. Randy, let's see. Turn around. Okay.
Yeah, we could these. I'm having one in my lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, he loves me. Oh, Uncle Tom. Fishing hooks.
Good. Those are nice.
I got it one. Hey, eggs.
Yeah.
Was he listening to music?
We're having Easter egg hunt now. Here's the dog.
Oh, I know.
He wants in on the action.
How did you play time? Huh? What? I thought two were mine.
Okay, here comes the kids for the Easter egg hunt. There goes Joey, Randy, Amy, Ryan, Broken Arm Heidi, Mama, and Tiny. There's Randy. Amy, okay, let the dog go. Go find your eggs.
I have 4. Two. 5. Man, you took all of them in the flowers. Joey! Joey, I love Lindsay. Here. Where's the blue pile?
Well, somebody's good.
Ah, that was a good place.
Yep, this one.
Okay, here's the great Easter egg hunt. Here comes the kids. On your mark.
1989.
Great Easter egg hunt, 1989. On your mark. Get set. Joey, wave at us. Okay, go. Here they come. There goes the tribe. Heidi's got a broken leg. Here comes Joey. Joey grab one. Joey grabs another one. Yeah, you got him. Here's Carrie.
Don't do that! I hate that.
Here's Ryan.
Oh, now they tell us.
There's Heidi's finding one. There's Kelly. Kelly's up the tree looking for one. She's gonna get it. There's Ben, and Ben's found one. There's Amy. Go walk up by the fence. Up. There's Randy. Turn around, Randy. Wave at the people.
We have other people.
Are they in the backyard? I don't see them.
Amy.
This is mine that I painted. I got blinded.
Ben.
Or you kids gonna count them first to see who got the most.
You okay? After that one.
After you count 'em.
Candy eggs? I'm not on. Pat.
Yeah.
Pat.
I didn't find any over there.
Hi, guys.
Hi. We're dang son of a gun.
You're a daring
Son of a gun.
son of a gun. Okay. Joey and Ben.
Huh?
This is Easter Sunday. Joey and Ben are climbing Aunt Pat's tree.
That's my tree. Yeah.
Can't you go any higher than that?
You want me to?
Sure.
I will. Here. And camel.
Joey, look.
Can we?
This is April 10th, 1989. And the puppy, Tiger Killer Mad Dog,
Skull dog.
just went and had his first haircut. He looks so adorable. Let's get a close-up on Tiny here. Okay, put him up.
He bites himself.
Okay, Tiny. That's enough, Ben. Isn't he cute?
Hey, it's a killer. He's biting my finger.
Okay, be quiet. Now it's on. Now it's on.
Trick number 1. Tiny, come here. Okay, trick number 1. Go to Heidi. I need to do my own trick. Oh, stop scratching. Okay. Pick him up and bring him in. Ready? Jumping through the hoop. Go.
Whoops.
Vanessa, take
Okay,
two.
take two.
Take two. Ready? No. Deal. Take two. Take two.
Ben, get out of the way.
Man, Amy, that's too high.
Okay. Oh, he did it. Yay.
Good boy. Good boy. Good. Turn off. Good. Oh, you're good.
Just as soon you didn't. Okay.
Time.
No, honey, Ben, you won't.
No more scratching. Ben and Tiny. Good boy. Good boy. Ah. And this is Heidi. Tiny. Tiny. And this is Ben. How come it says outdoor?
Can you push the button? Shouldn't have pushed, probably.
Here's Benjamin.
Heidi and her cast.
Oh yes, Heidi and her cast.
Ben, you're making this.
Too close, Ben.
Can I record?
Tiny's 12 weeks old.
Ava. Okay, sign off.
Shoot it up. All right, kick. Come on, guys. Get in there, watch it, Ben! Oh, come on! It's a tree!
Go get it, Ben!
Get after it! Come on! Zach, get after it!
James, get up there, buddy.
Where's the offense? James! Side tackle!
Defense, fall back.
Get in there! Zach, get serious!
That's it, guys.
There's Zach! That's it, Michael!
Excuse me.
Sorry. Go after it. Get that ball! Go in there! Go after it! Get in there! All right, go after it! Go after it, Ben. Good job. Come here, Ben. Follow it now. There you go. That's it. Get in there, Zach. Good job, James.
James, go for it.
Get up now. Go kick it, Zach. Kick it. Follow it now.
Go after it, buddy.
Kick it, Zach. There you go. Go after it, Zach.
Good job, Ben. Way to go to the ball.
Get out of there.
There you go, Nicky.
Good job, man. Shoot it. Ben, get it out of there. Get up in there. Get out of there. Get up in there. Okay, there you go. Throw it down. There you go. Go for it. Come on. Everybody standing still. Come.
Get up, Ben!
Heidi's first grade May 6, 1989. This is part of the beginning of the parade that she'll be marching number 53, so she'll be back. She's back.
Grandma happy birthday. This is your birthday tape, your 90th birthday tape, May 1989.
Difficult.
Okay.
It's very difficult to discuss all of the wonderful, generous, kind things that our mother has done for us for all our lives. So we're talking about over 60 years. There's no possible way that you can list the kindnesses, the caring, the generosity, the
Fun.
and the fun, the loving heart, always being there when she was needed, whether we thought she was needed or not, or whether we even thought it'd be possible for her to be there. Somehow, there was Mother, always there, always helpful, always doing anything she could for not just Auntie and myself, but for the grandchildren, and being a kind and generous and loving
Wonderful mother.
person.
And Mother certainly had her share of problems with me when I was little by having to nurse me through my asthma, and she was always so happy and cheerful doing it, as well as Elizabeth bouncing around and even scalding herself.
Yes.
Remember?
Oh, I'll never forget.
Tell us about some of your special trips with Auntie and Grandma and Mom. Your trips together.
Oh, well, every year we had a 2-week vacation, and they were the greatest. We started out probably about 5 in the morning, singing all the way, and we'd drive by these little Japanese truck farms, and the whole family was out
Japanese
pulling weeds, busy with her little immaculate gardens. And we'd be going to the ocean or to Soap Lake, or which we went to especially for me.
Was that where we went?
That's
there?
where we went for my asthma. And
I thought we went because it was good for us.
well, it was good for us.
And Auntie, you were fortunate to have a trip to Sweden with Grandma.
Yes, I had a wonderful trip to Sweden with Grandma.
What did you guys do on your trip there? Did you see
Oh,
all the family?
We saw the family, and the family thought we had been kidnapped. And we went swimming.
Why did they think you'd been kidnapped?
Because we were supposed to have been at a party, especially for us, and we went to the wrong house.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, it was great. So, anyway, we didn't show up, and they didn't know where to look for us, and eventually they got there. We got together, but it was too late for the party when we got to it. So, but that was quite an experience. Then we went to Denmark and stayed with Mother's cousin and Emmy, and
But didn't you have an interesting event in Germany?
the plane couldn't land in Copenhagen, so we had to fly to Germany and sit for 2 hours in Hamburg.
Oh.
And then we flew back to Copenhagen, but we still couldn't land. And we were supposed to have landed in Malmo, but we couldn't land there. They flew to Stockholm from Copenhagen. He said, we can't land here. It's like a merry-go-round. We are going to Stockholm. And then we had trouble getting on a plane because it was so crowded. So Mother and I got the last 2 seats, and we flew to Calmer. And at the airport in Stockholm, a lady had bought liquor in Canada, and she dropped it when she got off the plane. The whole airport smelled of whiskey or whatever it was. You could just, it was just wafting its way through the air, smelling up the airport, you might say. And Uncle Jim met us in Calmer and drove us to Lover's Lund. And Aunt Emmy had dinner for us. And we, one Sunday, we were rowing up and down the river. And Uncle Jim was singing Cruising Down the River. And then we went to Gotland and stayed a week there. And we were staying with Uncle Jim and Aunt Emmy and with Aunt Alice in Calmer. And then with Ray on Gotland, and we came back.
And Elsa?
And the day we left, I was thinking this might be an omen. We had 1.5 foot of snow in Colorado Springs. And
It snowed here too.
yeah, but it was 1.5 foot in Colorado Springs. And I thought, oh, what does this mean? Are we going to have a horrible trip or a great trip?
Because it was June.
It was June 10th. And, well, I think we should talk a little bit about some of our trips that we used to take. To the ocean, digging razorback clams, getting crabs, and horseback riding on the beach. And you got kicked by
That's
a
right.
horse.
I went flying about 8 feet.
And then you used to worry me terribly, which I'm very glad to get on film. Mother, we'd be in department stores, and Mother would be shopping one place, and Elizabeth would be running all over the store, and here I'd have to keep an eye on my mother, keep an eye on Elizabeth, so I was kind of in the middle watching both of them, but she drove me out of my mind practically, worrying about where she was going. You were scampering about.
There were many things to see.
Yes, and you saw them, and I did the worrying.
Well, I always knew I was all right.
Grandma recently told me about how when you were little you baked a cake in school and won a ribbon for it.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Was it a sponge cake?
I was in the 6th grade.
And you're still making sponge
And then
cakes.
Mother would always take us, the whole neighborhood, to Lincoln Park. We'd have to take the streetcar downtown and transfer onto another streetcar, go over the trestle, which was always exciting. And we'd go to, don't you?
Oh.
It was so high. In
Well, I remember
Seattle.
Lincoln Park, and I remember those expeditions, and they were wonderful. We'd spend the whole day swimming. Everybody in the neighborhood went.
Did Grandma teach you both how to swim?
Oh, yeah. It was either that or drown.
Elizabeth used to have the cutest little red life preserver. And you could see her crystal pool is where
You mean my water wings?
No, you had a little red tire, too.
I thought I had red water wings.
Well, you might have had water wings, too, but you had a long tire. I'd see that little tire all over the pool.
You know, one thing that I think about and I think is so humorous, and that is the day the squirrel got in the kitchen. Were you there? Were you home when that
I
happened?
don't remember that.
A squirrel got in the kitchen, and Grandma announced that that squirrel was from Woodland Park. And she, of course, decided the squirrel absolutely had to go. We couldn't keep that squirrel in the kitchen. And so she opened the door, and I think she told her to scat or something like that. And of course, the squirrel didn't do anything. So when Grandma's always very kind to the animals, but she also believes in having them behave. So she got out the broom, and she holds the handle end in her hand. It's just the bristle part. So she pursued that squirrel all over the kitchen. They went round and round and round and round. And finally, she got the squirrel out.
Oh, I don't remember that, honey. There's something else I was thinking of mentioning.
I guess Grandma says you guys used to bake pancakes for your kitties too, huh?
You know, Grandma would have pancakes for us every Saturday morning. And the pancakes that she baked for us were about the size of a platter.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
That's right.
And then when the batter was almost gone, then she would bake little pancakes about the size of a silver dollar. And those were the kitty pancakes.
In fact, I never could see how Mother could flip them. They were so big. You know, a platter-sized pancake. But she flipped them.
And the kitty did get the kitty pancakes. And the kitty did eat the kitty pancakes. And the kitty relished them mightily.
Grandma told me the other day that you guys had a canary and
Pete.
fish.
We had Pete. And Pete disappeared one day when we had gone downtown. And Mother had him out in the line. And the bottom of the cage was down on the ground. Remember when we came home?
I don't really remember that. I scarcely remember a canary. I don't remember.
Oh, I remember Pete so well.
And then we had the baby robin escapade.
Mother was always taking care of baby robins.
Well, but this one in particular, it had a little broken leg. And we had that baby
Oh,
robin
and it flew to her finger.
Mm-hmm. But then
That's right.
I don't think it ever grew up. I think somehow, some way, for whatever reason, I think we had it probably for 6 weeks or so, and then it died. Do you remember it growing up?
No, I don't remember it growing up. Mm-mm. But I do remember the robin and Mother taking care of it.
Remember we used a stick match for a splint for its broken leg?
Mm. Well, Mother was always taking care of birds, though.
And then Mother has always had a great interest and I would say a real talent for flowers and flower arranging.
Mm-hmm. She always had fresh flowers in the house that came out of our yard.
That's right. We had just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful flowers.
And
always.
still do.
Yeah.
Hold it just a minute.
Something like that. You know, you guys would take all of us up to the mountains and we'd sleep overnight and we'd, okay.
So,
Go ahead.
and then there was the time when we went to Soap Lake and we got our rattlesnake. Remember?
Oh, I remember that, sure, in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And Mother wasn't with us.
No, Mother wasn't with us, but we hauled him home so she could see him. He was dead.
Good.
Yeah, Dad killed it.
Grandpa
But
skewed
that
it.
lady that had gone with us wouldn't let him shoot it. So he had to kill it with a stick. Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember.
And you ran all the way back to camp to let Mother know that we were bringing a rattlesnake in.
That's all
And
I-
carrying it on the pole, I remember
How
that.
old were you? How old were you?
Oh, how old was I?
We were both in grade school.
Under 10? About
No,
9, 10?
I think probably I was older.
You were in grade school.
So you'd be under
I
12.
was in grade school.
Are you sure?
Yes, I was in the first or second grade, somewhere around there. So you were probably fifth or sixth.
And that snake kept falling off the pole that we were carrying it on. We had to pick it up again. But it was in a sagebrush. It was going to eat a little mouse. And
It was watching a burrow. Remember?
well, I remember it in the sagebrush.
And Grandma took us all kinds of super places. We went to see Cooley Dam while it was in progress,
Bonneville Dam,
and Mount Rainier.
Mount Rainier. We went to, what I especially loved was Skagit. The Skagit Light Power Project.
I guess that's
Remember?
I remember, but I
And
don't
I
remember the official
handing
name.
you syrup, which
On
all
my
over your
pancake and it was
pancakes,
vinegar.
which turned out to be vinegar.
Have some syrup, yeah.
And so, well, you let enough people know that it wasn't syrup on the pancakes.
So did I eat it anyway?
No, you got new pancakes.
Oh, good. I'm happy to hear that.
But that was lovely.
Was that painted feathers?
We stayed in dormitories, and they had the grounds all lit up at night with floodlights and birds singing at night, birds singing in the trees. And then we took a cruise on a lake. I don't know what lake it was, unless it was Skagit Lake.
I don't remember the.
And
I
then
don't
we
remember the
went on
official
an
name.
elevator that I think they have one like it at the Royal Gorge. A platform that goes up and down a hill, and we were on that. Do you remember that?
No, not really.
And so we were always going on adventures.
And remember, Grandma took us to Blaine,
yes.
to the Canadian border. That was an excursion on a train. So that was really neat.
That's right, we did go. And oh, I'm trying to think of some of the other,
Well,
besides the ocean, Salt Lake.
Rowing.
Huh?
Rowing.
You said you were going to mention rowing.
Oh yes, on Puget Sound. Elizabeth and I would have one boat. Mother and Dad would have the other. And Dad would do the rowing for them, Mother would do the fishing. I'd do the rowing in our boat, and Elizabeth would do the fishing. And because it was hard to fish, 4 of us or 3 of us to fish from one rowboat. After we left home, they got a motor.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They got a motorboat. And, but we rode. While we were home, we rode.
And Grandma took us to the opera.
Oh, absolutely. And to the art museum.
And the art museum. That was wonderful. I don't know how many times, I have no idea how many times we went to the art museum. It had a beautiful, beautiful room. Probably larger than this whole house, filled with oriental jades. Just teeny tiny, tiny, to fairly good sized pieces. Remember, all different colors. Some were white, some were just barely tinged with green, some very deep green. Just beautiful.
The art museum was in Volunteer Park. And what was the other thing I was going to mention that we did? Just thought of it and I forgot it.
And we journeyed back and forth to Bainbridge Island many, many times to see our relatives.
Year after year
Well, that wasn't once a year.
We went many times a year, but for many years we'd go back and forth. And then the hills in Seattle were so steep. And I remember when Dad had to change gears back in those days.
I don't remember that.
Well, I remember it, and I'd remember the car rolling halfway down the hill before we finally got enough steam to really get up, and cross the streets. Oh, I can never forget that. I was sure we'd end up in Puget Sound.
Because they used cable cars on those hills. They were that steep. They're just almost straight up and down.
But Mother, there are so many things that we just can't think of all the wonderful memories we had with you.
And all of our Christmases.
Oh, and Thanksgivings.
The smorgasbord. And I refuse to eat pickled herring to this day.
Start that again, Mother during the war.
During the Second World War.
Yeah, she was a,
Watch the cord, honey.
what kind of a warden did they
Block
call them?
warden is what they call them.
Went to check that everybody's didn't have any light showing.
Shades drawn.
And then Mother worked at Bowling's. And then she took care of Sammy.
And she took care of Warren and me because I was flat on my back for practically a year. But we have not mentioned how Grandma always saw to it that we went off to Sunday school, and often she went with us. We went to the Swedish Alum Swedish Baptist Church.
Swedish. Well, I just called it Swedish Baptist Church.
Well, it was
It
Elam.
was the Elam. E-L-M.
That was E-L-I-M.
No, I think
Elam. E-L-I-M. Anyway, and no, but
you might be right.
Anyway.
It doesn't make any difference.
No, but Grandma always set a very good moral example for us. A very good example of honesty and decency and
You forgot to mention how she would see to it if there were concerts going on at the University of Washington.
Oh, yeah.
We would march over to the university to see whatever concert was being shown.
and
Remember, like
yes.
organ or flute or
piano or
piano
chorus,
or whatever.
like the boys' Welsh choir from Wales. We saw them their last appearance before the Second World War started, and the operas, and the Seattle Symphony. All of these things, and our music lessons.
That's right. Singing lessons.
Oh, no.
And tap dance.
No, that was in high school. It was because I couldn't take modern dance. I couldn't take it because it didn't work out with my particular academic schedule. That's the only reason Anyway.
I took tap dance.
Did
too.
you?
But they put me in tap too, and I had never even had tap one.
I didn't know there was.
For me, yes, there was tap one, tap two, and which was a disaster.
Well, show us.
And our mother always went to PTA meetings. She was a very active participant.
She
in
was
this-
the health chairman. Do you
Mhm.
remember that?
That's right. But she was a very active participant in being involved in any way that a parent can be involved with their child in the schools.
That's right.
And she was also, I would say, kind of a neighborhood mother
That's true.
to,
Especially in the summertime.
especially in the summertime. Do you remember the time we decided
And
we'd
we
all
go to
scream?
Green Lake. No, I don't.
You don't?
Uh-uh.
It was summertime. We were all sitting on the front porch, the whole neighborhood, and we decided we'd all see how loud we could scream. And so we sat there and we screamed bloody murder. And you have never seen such furious, irate parents in your life. Don't you
No, I
remember that?
don't. Uh-uh.
And we all had to go home immediately. That was it for the day. Everybody.
But Mother would take us to Woodland Park, to
To the
Green
zoo.
Lake,
And
to
the Rose
zoo.
Garden.
Mhm. Oh, I love the Rose Garden.
And it had a perpetual fountain. It would go whoosh, whoosh. Remember?
Mm-hmm. And think.
Well, no, there are just so many things. I'm sitting here thinking. It's hard to think. There's just so many things. When I was in California and I had that miscarriage and I was having such terrible, terrible problems, Grandma flew down to California immediately and stayed with me for 2 months. Or
And
a
she
month
flew
maybe.
with Sam to Great Falls,
That's right.
Montana. That was during the war.
Well, it was pretty much over with then. But she had a terrible time because they didn't land at Great Falls. They went somewhere else, and I don't know what all that was
Helena.
about. All such things as that. And she's made.
But we have just had
We've been very fortunate.
to have the mother we had. That
That's
we
right.
have.
Sounds to me like you had a pretty well-rounded.
We really
Childhood.
did. We really did.
And how wonderful it was to go to the opera. And I enjoyed the intermissions almost as much as the performances, because there would be all the ladies in their beautiful, beautiful gowns, and remember, in their
Yes.
jewels,
Mhm.
and they would all be out in the corridor during intermission, and it was wonderful. And the Seattle Symphony, that was,
Mhm.
but
And we went to a policeman's ball once.
I thought we went several times.
Well, I don't remember how many times, honey, but I remember one time that
We were
went.
among the very few children who did go,
Mhm.
if not the only ones. And then do you remember how we would go, Grandma would take us downtown, and we would go to the Chinese restaurants,
Mhm.
and meet Grandpa, and we would have dinner.
Yeah.